Life is a succession of activities. You wake up in the morning and perhaps you take a moment to meditate, and that might be your first action during the day. Then you dress yourself, which actually it is you dress the body. Then you have breakfast. Then you go to work, you drive, and so on. Life is a succession of activities. And therefore, because of this, it's extremely important and valuable that we learn to spiritualize action. Because otherwise, our spiritual life will be just limited to the time when we are meditating, for example. So, spiritualizing action, which is karma yoga, is called karma yoga, is a significant part of every spiritual yoga or every spiritual path. Doesn't matter if you practice bhakti yoga or jnana yoga or kundalini yoga, it doesn't matter. You have to include karma yoga as part of your practice. Now, the term spiritualizing action is not the best, but it gives you the idea. So in its first level, you spiritualize action by taking a moment before you perform and offering your action to the divine. Let's say you are going to do your job at the office and you take a moment to offer your work to the divine. That is the first level of karma yoga. And it's a valuable first step. By all means, do that. But the highest karma yoga is and consists of doing without the fantasy that there is an I, a me here, doing. Without the mistaken idea, false idea, pure imagination and fantasy that I am here doing this, which is an underlying assumption quite powerful that is controlling your actions and is disturbing your actions actually. So, what do I mean by disturbing? Let's say you are driving. If you are driving from an ego perspective with the thought, I am driving here, I'm such a good driver, or I'm such a awful driver, your idea of a me here driving is interfering with the driving. If you remove that idea, those thoughts, then there is just driving. Or you could say consciousness drives. Life with capital L is driving. And where is you? You are not there. And that's great. That's exactly what you want, because that driving will be the best. That driving will be the safest and most effective. And the mind-body organism will be relaxed. This can be applied to every sport. When you see a master at a particular sport, it's very likely that that individual has learned to play basketball or football or golf from the no-self state, from that place where there is no interference of thinking about me doing this, from the silence. So take the case of Zen. One of the valuable practices of Zen is archery. In archery, you learn to do without the idea of me doing. There is just the doing happening. The bow is pulled, the arrow is released, and nobody's doing anything. That's the place where you want to practice archery in Zen. That's a place where there is no concern about the results either. There's just the doing from a center of emptiness, so to speak. So as you learn to remove the idea of the me doing things during the day, the many actions, right, that happen during the day, as you learn to do that, obviously you are embodying the awakening. Everything is happening automatically by itself, every action throughout the day, and nobody's doing anything. And that me is not necessary, by the way. It interferes, it just interferes with the activities. So what are the pointers? What is the best pointer for attaining that embodying? That action is happening from consciousness itself, not from the thought of I, which is a fantasy. In fact, we have to understand this. No action in during your whole life, no action ever was performed by you, because you don't exist. You are just a fantasy. It was always performed by consciousness, by life itself, with capital L. Always. And it continues to be that way. But the thought of I interferes. It just makes things difficult. Learn to remove that false idea and everything flows. How you remove that idea? Well, let's take driving. Driving, and you use the pointer. Nobody's driving here. No one is driving. There is just the driving. Or just life driving here. That's another pointer. Consciousness is driving this car through this mind-body organism. You remind yourself of the truth. Use any one of these pointers to move, by following the pointer, to move into that sense of emptiness. Oh, no one here, just there is the driving of the car. Relaxing, refreshing, more efficient. And then you move this practice to other activities. Let's say walking. You remind yourself, who is walking here? Oh, nobody's walking here. Nobody's walking, but there is walking. Consciousness is walking this mind-body organism. And so on. Washing the dishes, same thing. Learn to act from the state of freedom. Freedom from what? Freedom from the sense of I, the sense of me, the thought of me, and the corresponding feelings that the thought creates. Pride, shame, tension. The truth is that no one is driving ever. No one is walking ever. No one has walked ever. No one has driven a car ever. It has always been consciousness. And the thought of I and me, and the sense of I that creates, has always been an interference. Use the pointers to remember the truth. That's the path of Advaita. Using pointers to remember the truth. Very simple. So that the truth gets deeper and deeper into the mind-body organism until it's felt into the bones.